let me show you. Earlier I was talking about Sultry, just like something that I was considering whether there'd be a way to fix it or change it. I'm trying to load this up. Which item has the least counterplay? Least counterplay. I mean, sniper rifle maybe. Okay, here's my issue with this. Look at like how close you have to get to open this shutter. I feel like that's not normal. I don't know. There's no way to like open this without dying. I feel like on a lot of other maps you can like bait the shutter door. But I feel like on this one it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. I can't open it from like a safe distance. So that was one little thing. Honestly, I think they could make the spawn room slightly bigger backwards. I think this is one of the smallest spawn rooms. I mean, Gully Wash is probably smaller, but I think it might be longer. I think they could make the spawn slightly like further back. And then just let the doors open from slightly further away. I would appreciate that a lot. So it's like a very subtle change that I would probably want to see on this map. Because I realize it's so fucking hard to like clear stickies. Like, look, I'm trying to open this fucking door, but I can't. Like, how? How can I clear stickies on this? So, yeah. As far as anything else to change on this map, honestly, I think it's pretty good. Pretty good. I don't really have any meaningful suggestions. I did give some suggestions. Like, literally, this map used to be a flat bridge. And I'm pretty sure this was a proposal that I gave them to, like, make this height variation. So, I've already given some input on this map. And I think it's pretty good now. So, yeah. First time watching live. Lingo. Hello, welcome. Was this map made strictly for 6v6? It was, yeah. Granary doesn't lend itself to modern 6's playstyle, but it's a strength. Well, if I load up Granary, I can show you. Okay, by the way, Pro 2 is the best version of Granary that's ever been made. It's really annoying to me that we don't use it. But if I load up Granary real quick, I can identify a couple of like small issues on this map. Or what makes it like weird compared to others. I mean, for one, you have double shutter door. If there was no shutter door here, or on one of these, it might... I mean, I'd be curious to see what it would be like. It might be fucked because of sniper sight lines, but double shutter is kind of whack. Same thing here. Like, this shutter almost doesn't make sense because it already is like a little corner here. There's not a huge sight line here. So I don't understand why this shutter exists, I'll be honest. I think it doesn't really do that much. There's a lack of ammo, I would say, on this map. This ammo can actually be quite inaccessible if you're on defense, because crossing this line when you don't know what the fuck's gonna happen with this door is quite dangerous. You also walk right into like a perfect splash angle right here. So sometimes this ammo is like too risky to grab on defense, and then there's literally nothing. There's nothing else anywhere in here unless you go inside here, but that's way too far out of the way, and it's also a fucking dangerous death box. You have to come all the way back here to grab this ammo. This ammo, honestly, should just be like right here. If the ammo was here, then that would make second way more enjoyable to play. And this maybe should just be a small ammo, but it doesn't matter. Could be both on large ammo. I've heard a lot of people say that ammo should almost never be small ammo. Like this one, for example. Again, it's like the only ammo you have in this yard. Unless you go way, way over here. This one's fine. But this one being a medium would help. This one being a small is probably okay. Because there's other ammos. So, I'd say lack of ammo is one of the annoying things about this map. What else? I mean, these doorways are all extremely small. There's sniper sight lines like into upper. So, you know, maybe for example, what if one of these windows was like not snipeable? Like what if this was a glass window here? So you still had access to this, but you couldn't get sniped walking up here. Then this area could be a lot more interesting and more useful. But a lot of tiny doorways for sure. Like this is like fucking player model size. This one's cool. This one also tiny. I've always been curious, what if this wall didn't exist? This flank could be a little bit more contestable and like dynamic. It just feels like it's so boxed in, and if you're in here, you're trapped with no exit. I was always curious what would happen if you could like drop out of there. I've kind of always wanted to make a map that has like a second point that's very similar to Granary, but not having like a fully enclosed flank. I'm not on the Granary RGL's using. Yeah, I am. This is Pro RC8. This is what's being used in invite. I'm pretty sure the admin confirmed that. Yeah. Admin posted on January 20th. Thanks to you who provided feedback on Granary. Most teams seem to prefer RC8, so we reverted to that. So maybe it's not reflected on other places, but RC8 is what is being used by the league. Regardless of what's on the match page or whatever. There are versions of this map where this choke is like really huge, and I think those are abominations. I mean, to be honest, I don't like pro versions of maps at all, but like that should not be a thing. This choke is fine. Anything else about this map? This upper door just being like slightly bigger. I think the doorway size honestly is just one of the big problems here. This is why Pro 2 is so much better. This forward spawn being the fucking 4th point forward spawn is so miserable. Because it's like perfect for getting in for a back cap. And it's also an insane sniper sight line. So the one that switches the spawn to be this one is so much better. I guess there's like a tiny sliver right there you can still see on a sniper. So, you know, probably just like close that up. But besides that, you see way less. And it's a longer distance to back cap. And it sends you into the main yard rather than like funneling you into the back cap route, you know? Like this one used to. Anything else? I like the addition of the double doors. I like the removal of all the fucking vents and shit. Yeah, honestly, the map is not bad. The only, like, yeah, weird things about the map is just, like, this, like, isolated yard. Maybe you could kind of think of it as, like, I don't know, a flank area, like IT or something on process, but it is kind of strange that there's just, like, an entire half of the map that doesn't get used for most of the game. Because everyone just stays here. So I've always wondered what it would be like if, for example, there was maybe a door here, or if these crates were like half crates instead of full double crates, so that you could like play in the middle. Again, I've thought about making like a Granary, another I already have one map that's inspired by Granary, but another one that's like more literally like a Granary kind of changed map where the yard would be a little bit better connected, I guess. Can you jump on the blue crate? You can't jump on this, but there is a little ledge here that you can stand on. Yeah, honestly, that's mostly it. I guess this is kind of whack, like this sniper sight line back here. Pretty good. On normal Granary, this is, you know, walled off, so I don't know how you would do it. It'd be nice if, you know, this rotation existed, but somehow you prevent the sniper from getting here or like using it. You would probably need to create like some sort of structure here. Like if there was a building here or like a shed right there, then a sniper who's wide peeking here would not be able to see past the shed, and he would have to either stand here so he has a less deep angle, or he'd have to walk closer. I think ultimately, like, making the snipers have to work a little bit harder for their shots is a good idea. This is just wide open ground. You don't see a lot of that on maps either. Like a field that's completely empty. There's another map I was thinking of that had just an empty field. I was like, you don't really see maps with that kind of shit nowadays. Like, what is this? This corner, this goes back to like the quirks I was talking about earlier. Like, who would ever think to just put like a useless corner back here? No one really does stuff like this on like community made maps, but you know, it creates this weird little hiding spot that you could use, and you know, that kind of stuff. I do really like these corners though, because like you can dry push in and kind of hide here. I wish more maps had stuff like this, where you have kind of like this safety pocket you can dry push in. But yeah, anyways.